You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. And now we are joined by Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, senior political affairs commentator. Mr. Iyer, how clear was the message from the N.D.A meeting that, the third consecutive term of Prime Minister Modi is going to take forward the agenda of the previous two terms?
Well, thank you, Mark. We saw the Prime Minister hold forth on what are the objectives of this third term and how he is carrying forward some of the main policies that were started in Modi's first term and as well as continued further in the Modi second term. And among the things that he mentioned was concerted efforts to see that there is all-round development which is focused on the weakest and the poorest. And the second thing is to see that the country's economic growth, moves forward in a very big way. And the third is he spoke about the need to fight corruption also, which is a very important agenda with the Prime Minister right from the first term. And apart from that, the Prime Minister spoke of a new approach to handling issues, sorting out issues, and coming with big ideas to take India forward in a much faster way in terms of scale, in terms of speed, and also in terms of skill. So whatever he initiated, before the newly elected members of the N.D.A, as well as key coalition partners this time, the Telugu Party, as well as Janata Dal United, it was very clear there are no more confusions, there are no more uncertainties. This government of the Prime Minister in its third term has majority and there are no issues and there is no need for unnecessary fears. I think that's a big message that came across today when we saw the way the entire atmosphere was one of cordiality and one of deeper understanding. Because I believe in the last 2 days, there has been extensive discussions on what is the way forward, what are the key areas the government would push on, and particularly the Prime Minister's plan, what is called the Viksit Bharat plan, how it will move forward with the cooperation with allies. We heard the Chandrababu Naidu, the Telugu Desam leader. We also heard Nitish Kumar and other leaders who expressed complete support for the Prime Minister and also for his government in taking the country forward. Mark.
Yes, indeed. Now, as you said, all the N.D.A partners, they spoke, in fact, of the progress during the last 10 years, the transformation that's taken place, and they endorsed Prime Minister Modi. But the entire parliamentary committee, also expressed their support. In a parliamentary democracy, since we are looking at the international audience, this is the way it's done, isn't it? How clearly does this express India's democratic traditions?
Mark, under our parliamentary system of government, a leader who commands the majority support in the lower house of parliament, that is the Lok Sabha, is invited by the president to form the government. And in this case, where there was no clear majority, rather, since BJP did not have a majority of its own, it was essential that the support, the letter of support, the letter expressing support for the Prime Minister to head the next government was provided by the coalition partners, particularly the Telugu Desam Party and Janata Dal United, which formed the biggest chunk, expressing full support for the Prime Minister. So at the N.D.A parliamentary party meeting today, the idea was to send out that message that more than the required number of members of parliament are with the Prime Minister and they have chosen him as their leader. So that, and with that letter of support, Prime Minister drove to Rashtrapati Bhavan, had his audience with President Draupadi Murmu and presented the proof of support from all the supporting parties and members of parliament. And accordingly, President Draupadi Murmu issued the letter of appointment, which the Prime Minister showed to the media, as we can see right now in the screen. And that set in the process for the inauguration of the Modi government for the third time on June 9th. This is a process that has been followed where the leader who commands the majority support in the Lok Sabha is invited to form the government.
Yes, Mr. Iyer, also, the stock markets have reached their peaks once again. this can only go north from here. But, how do you view this also as an endorsement of economic policy? You did speak of Viksit Bharat. You spoke about, actually, it's the Prime Minister's vision for 2047 as well. But, this is a coalition government, and there have been talks also about challenges in government formation and ministries, births, and things like that. How smoothly do you think that all this is going to take place over first the government formation and then the smooth running of the government?
Mark, we can safely assume that a lot of preliminary round of discussions have already taken place between the leaders of the BJP and all the supporting parties. That is why you saw a kind of comfort zone, or rather a comfort among the leaders today, because a lot of ground has already been covered in principle as to what will be the composition of the government, which party will get what kind of representation. These things have been already covered. And I believe what is now more, the next round of discussion is about to be the specifics. The supporting parties will nominate the persons whom they would wish to be included in the Union Council of Ministers, and they leave it to the Prime Minister's prerogative to recommend these names to the President for their appointment as ministers. This is the process we have seen in all coalition government. The same thing will happen here. And also, there are other individual supporting parties with whom there were lengthy discussions today at JP Nadda's residence, who is the BJP president, where a lot of support, which is coming forward to see who can be given what representation, because this is going to be broadly a representative government of the parties that is supporting Prime Minister Modi. And as far as the policies and program, that will be the driving force, which is the same old mantra which has taken this government through the 10 years, which is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and Sabka Prayas. This is what I was told has been conveyed to the allies. This is the Prime Minister's Mool Mantra, and this is what is going to be further reinforced, further implemented on the ground with greater effort, with greater energy, and for greater result. This is the broad thing, and where I can see leaders like Chandrababu Naidu, who today very specifically mentioned that this is the moment where we need a leadership like that of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is the time we need a government that can, take things forward, and a lot of things are waiting to happen. And Nitish Kumar, in his own typical style, he said he wanted things to move such a fast forward. He said, I think the government should be in right from today, which means no more time should be wasted or spared.
Yes, we leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, political affairs commentator. Thanks for being with us.